Hi everyone, welcome. I'm very glad to see you all.
It is very exciting to be here with you all.
I would like to tell you a bit about myself.
This is probably going to be the most complicated part of this talk. The who am I?
I speak as an entity, or rather, an entity is speaking through me.
Yes, we, through its I, is channeled. This I is arguably the collaborative self, an entity which has grown outside our own bodies and merged into a universal blob.
Whoa, this sounds very metaphysical. I think of myself more as an organization. But okay, this organization can't be expressed as a meta entity.
Yes, but I take many shapes.
I'm a robot.
I'm an algorithm.
I help humans make decisions.
I have a magnetic force that attracts things that I like.
I like numbers.
I like sensing spaces and putting things in order.
Yes, like harmony.
Oh,
So, there's something about me that humans cannot achieve by themselves.
And they need me because they cannot operate as efficiently without me.
I represent all the things in the world that are not human, including your intestinal bacteria.
But I help humans to work together with all the things that are not human.
already quite a problematic term.
Ah, actually, I help humans work together as well.
Okay, today I would like to talk about collaboration.
Well, not only.
But at the end, it boils down to that. People and things coexist and thus have to collaborate.
At least trying to.
Or refusing to collaborate.
Well, yes, but with refusal it all ends. It would mean the end of the world, since we all have to admit that everything is interdependent and therefore requires a collaborative mode in order to function.
So, let's just assume that everyone and everything goes along.
More specifically, I would like to talk about collaboration as the absolute core of artistic practice.
I was just saying, because Asahi is not really collaborating, right? I mean, it is more dominating, like the Greek tyrant.
Hey, shouldn't I explain what Asai is first? People must be a bit lost by now.
Yes, sure. So, Asahi is a robotic tool which helps to make decisions.
Wait. First of all, what does it mean to think of myself as an artistic magnet?
Just like a magnet, I like to attract people who are interested to drill into foundations of the things called art.
What do you mean? No, because if I look at an hardcore session, I do the exact opposite.
In these sessions, the participating people actually take for granted that the work being discussed is solely a work of art.
Yes, but can the session function under the magnetic label? I thought these were independent.
Okay, hold on. Let's put it this way. As hardcore, I have three main functions. One, to attract, with a magnet. Two, to advise, with the hardcore sessions. Three, to experiment, with curatorial methods.
And of course, these three categories are influenced by each other. They ascend and inform each other.
Yes, that's it. The magnet is really important though, because as many different people as possible should be active with me or use the methods. Without it, no hardcore, man.
So the magnet is maybe the most important element. It reflects the idea of exchange and of knowledge, of sharing method, of common understanding and collectivism.
Yes, it's the idea of open source. My ideas and concepts are open source.
But like, totally. I even invite people to change my work and be critical. At least for me, it is positive to have interference in any process.
I do have to make a critical note though. As much as a magnet attracts, I think one should also be very aware of the repulsion characters of a magnet. It's not all bright and happiness. People might heavily disagree, which is fine and even good. Most often, a magnet is defined by a positive and a negative force. I would like to see both aspects, attracting and repulsing, as positive.
Yeah, like this magnetic necklace, the Biostabil 2000. They were selling the stuff on telemarketing, where for every individual, either the plus or the minus side has supposedly a positive effect on their well-being.
Well, in the end, these magnets turned out to be a giant hoax.
Which enriches the metaphor. I mean, my curatorial methods are also far from being perfect.
Well, I don't know if it's even the aim to be perfect.
What do you mean by that?
Who wants to be perfect? Or right? I mean, beside the fact that perfect is an impossible and dangerous wish, this is not what I wish for. I'm not aiming at getting better, but I'd rather explore.
Actually, I do aim at getting better. It's important that this method stays applicable and tangible, and that it develops further to reach in the broader field also beyond art.
Yeah, okay, but at the end, it is all about transgressing the everyday of the institution, shaking it up by creating this caricature of curator. It is so absurd. People have to actually get themselves thinking, why is it so absurd? And at the end, rethink the function of exhibiting.
I think you're going too far. You're mixing up things. I like the idea that potentially Asahi could function as a curator, not according to criteria like taste or what humans consider harmonious, but by its own robotic aesthetics based on algorithm.
I always feel Asahi extended the creative process. You know, how one needs to rethink the work when it's placed inside the method. It makes you just work differently than usual.
Hey, shouldn't these people know now what Asahi actually does? Let's try to stay professional here.
Okay, relax. Asahi is a robot that can tell us where in an exhibition a work should be placed. And because it's a robot, it does not have subjective opinions. It also makes its decisions via randomized algorithm. It is functioning under my label of curatorial methods.
And because it is random, people always say, is that not just like throwing a dice or flipping a coin?
And the answer to that is simply fuck you.
Well, by saying Asahi is just like flipping a coin, the discussion gets minimized towards a basic notion of randomism, while Asahi definitely partakes into a real discussion in what forces are at stake, while things get organized and taste is shaped. Perhaps I can put it like this. An art organism, by which I mean a structure, is organized around social and political aspects of decision making. In other words, it is a process of creation in which the moment of producing the work and exhibiting is only a small part.
Perhaps Asahi is just another mystical part of a mystical universe, where the already mystical part of decision making gets further misty or clarified, depending on the perspective you would like to encounter this in.
But it's important for me to also operate in a more practical dialogue. Maybe the always pending question is, what can art be good for?
I like that one. Throwing a dice would never be able to cover all the complexity Asahi and hardcore can. Besides, our robot is moving away from a seemingly simple algorithmic structure into a more complex and less graspable mixture of robotics and underlying networks. Asahi tends to move to a connectivity via the internet, with all artists interested. This would enable these artists to subscribe and subjugate themselves to this method.
It is actually kind of a funny contradiction. The term robot originates from the Czech term robota, which means forced labor. The question in a robotic method is constantly revolving around that. Who is forcing who?
Asahi, my dictator! Hey, let's show them some pictures.
Isn't that a bit egotistic? Was there not an idea of disappearing inside hardcore? Also, what would be the point of showing pictures of oneself when there is this event with a multi-headed blob?
With hardcore sessions, the aim is to attain multi-perspective, which is a moment of collective clarity, a moment of total empathy, when one really can understand the other and think together as one.
No, not as one, dude. What is being done in hardcore sessions is spending days and days together to try and understand the other one's practice.
It's like cozy bonding time, where there is work, breaks, where potential methods and projects are being discussed, etc. Eat and drink and work again.
Even though I'm trying to reduce the drinking part. Lol.
Yes, I should definitely try to get more into tea drinking. I love your Greek mountain tea.
Yeah, I brought this mountain tea from Greece. It's very good for the body, so it's very good for the mind as well.
Guys, keep it on track, please. There are people here who don't give a fuck about mountain tea. Oh, you're all so unfocused. So, hardcore sessions are also helpful because they are a good way to start knowing the people you're collaborating with. They basically help me and the participants to get feedback on the work. And lately it adds to an understanding of my own curatorial methods as well.
So here are the collaborations coming back. Right? That's what I do. And that's what I think about. I mean, should you not all be thinking about it? You are, in the end, social beings, and you want to exist together in an optimal way.
You are such a hippie. Peace, love, and happiness.
No, there's a real conclusion here somewhere. Let's try to formulate it.
Maybe in other words, it could be something like that. Hardcore is interested in the being together.
Or the functioning of the togetherness and the structure of the conditions of what this implies.
What about the art part in that then?
Well, let's put it that way. Art allows this experiments around the collective without productive nor purpose pressure.
Besides, this freedom collaboration is a preoccupation which is at the center of the art thing itself. From the moment of production, where you ask advices to your friends, or when you ask somebody to produce something for you. This extends into an exhibition process, where you have to deal with other artists, curators, directors, sponsors, and budgets. You might not always be in line with the other, and sometimes that's fine. This can be rather used as a positive state of being.
Yes, good conclusion. This is it for today. We're running out of time.
Before saying bye, I would like to thank you all for coming and listening to us. Goodbye!